Hello, Homeworthy. I'm Isabella Gerstein. Welcome to our home in Dallas. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Isabella Gerstein. My family owns a furniture store here in Dallas, and we also do interior design. So right now we are in Dallas, specifically Devonshire, a neighborhood here in Dallas. And my home is kind of like a mix between Palm Beach, Grand Millennial, whatever makes my heart happy is kind of what makes my home. This house was built in 1945, so smaller rooms, lower ceilings. We looked at a lot of different older homes, new homes. Our main goal was to find something with an open concept. This home is from the 40s, but it did have an open concept. It was recently renovated, so that was a huge thing for us. And also the backyard is beautiful, so we got 2-in-1. We got the open concept and just a lot of backyard space, which was really important for us. My favorite room in this home is this room that we're in. We moved into this house and it was a blank room, white walls, white fireplace. So I really wanted to create a cozy kind of cottage Palm Beach mix. It's not a big room nor a tall room, so the ceilings are very low. So we did pick a wallpaper with lines to make it look taller. And then I just incorporated print and just kind of cozy pieces into this room. Welcome to our front room. So this room used to be totally white walls, white fireplace. And when we moved in, I had this vision of fully wallpapering it to create kind of more of a cozy environment. I picked this Schumacher wallpaper. It's called Hydrangea Drape. They have different color options, but the green just kind of felt right for kind of this Palm Beach inspired home that I have going on. So this wallpaper, I really also loved the idea of having lines in it. It creates a larger space, a taller ceiling, and just gives this more of an open space. Over here, I picked some fun art by Susan Habel. As you can see, it's got some kind of like abstract florals, and then the strawberries are just such a fun touch of reds, which I don't have a lot of red in our house, but that just felt kind of organic and fun. Then we move over to the green fireplace, which was a little bit daring, but also very fun. There's a lot of greens and pinks in our home. I saw these at our local antique store and I had to get them. I felt like they went really great with the greens, and then I just paired it with some other pink and green plates that I had laying around the house. And then we move to this coffee table. This coffee table is also an antique find. Actually got this in an antique store in Fredericksburg. It's a French coffee table from a repurposed piece of wood from the 18th century, and that absolutely sold me. Also, the kind of imperfect legs was a really fun touch and just gives it more of an effortless look. And then this sofa back here is just so plush and cozy. I kind of wanted to match the coffee table colors of the patina and the wood, so we went for like a lighter, moodier brown, and then to bring in more color back into the space, I just paired it with some really fun linen throw pillows. These have greens and blues and just this fun little print I thought was really cute. Over here, I mix antiques, news, high-end, a little bit more of affordable pieces. This was actually a Home Goods find. I just love the shape of the lamp. It's kind of like a little mushroom. So I really just love using unique shapes in our home. I just think it creates character. These lounge chairs are a new addition to our home. I saw this print as soon as we went to market in North Carolina for our showroom. I saw these and I loved the piping. I just thought it brought such a fun aspect out of the chair, and then I paired them with a really clean but fun looking throw pillow. These are actually kidney pillows, but I just loved the scallop detail on them, and I loved how it brought out the greens in the whole room. So really this room is gonna be like pinks, greens, blues, just really fun pastel kind of Palm Beach inspired colors. And then moving on, this little cute side table is just a fun scallop detail. There's a lot of kind of scallop details around the house, and I just love how it creates kind of like a softer look. And then more antique finds. I collect plates. So you'll see around my house, there's just plates, there's oyster plates, there's gonna be Majolica plates, Bordello Pinheiro, who's a Portuguese designer for plates, ceramic plates. So I'll have a few of those around the house. And this is actually another cabbage plate that I just will fill in with candy. Right now we've got little chocolates, but I'll have candy depending on the season, and it's just a cute little touch to add for any guests that come and visit our home. This is what really caught my eye as I was shopping for this house. So this piece is a burl wood sideboard, and it's got a mix of rattan, and then I just loved kind of like the brushed brass accents over here. So this was kind of the starting piece in this front room. This inspired really everything else. And then back here, I paired this kind of burl wood with a Slim Aarons print. This is actually in the Bahamas, in Nassau, and also a huge piece of inspiration for me with the pinks and the greens. So all these colors just bring in this kind of cozy, fun environment into the home. I've got also a few of these ceramic jars laying around. I fill them with actually faux flowers because although I do have real flowers, sometimes you just want flowers that will last forever and will look good. So these are just an Amazon find, and they're actually really good looking hydrangea florals. Here, just kind of continuing the Slim Aarons inspiration, I've got a Slim Aarons book. And then on this side over here, we're gonna have a pleated lamp with some fun kind of scallops as well to kind of keep the element of the scallops going on with the home. So for lighting in this room, like I said, we've got that floor lamp with the scallops, we've got a little cute side lamp over there, the table lamp, and then of course I had to have a light fixture on our ceiling. This is actually a wafer find that I bought before I wallpapered this room. I loved how it looked antique. It's made out of wood, and then it's got kind of like that metal siding with a little bit of the scallops again. As you can tell, I love scallops, but this was a really good find, and I think it just ties the whole room together. And then lastly in this room, one of my favorite Facebook Market finds is this Brighton Pavilion antique chair. The guy I bought it from said he's had it for about 25 years. So as soon as I saw this, I knew I had to have it. I've been looking for one for the longest time, but hadn't found the perfect one. And then I just felt like it went so great with the material on the sideboard. So against the wallpaper, and then just kind of really makes this room the best front room ever, which is so, you know, cliche to say, but just this piece is so special to me. Let's move to the kitchen now. So my personal interior design style has changed over the years a lot. I've gotten more experience, I've gotten exposed to more styles. In the beginning, it was really more minimalistic, rustic, and then I've kind of created more of a colorful, grand millennial style, and it's just been influenced by travel and just other local interior designers, as well as antique stores have been really influential in my interior design style. So welcome to our kitchen. This kitchen, when we moved in, was renovated, and they did a great job. It's all white, which was a great kind of empty canvas for me. Just a clean canvas where I could add my pop of colors in books or just little accents. That was really an important thing that we wanted in our home, was an open concept. So as soon as we walked into this older home, which was built in the 40s, we fell in love immediately and just knew this had to be our home specifically for this kitchen. I'm a huge cook. I love to cook and entertain. So having this kind of open concept that opens up to our living room and our dining was amazing. So for this kitchen, I really like to keep it pretty clean. I added accents of color, like in our rug down here. We've got an Oshak rug, which is just gonna be a really fun wool rug. I incorporated a little linen napkin here with our initials. And then we have our cute little kind of corner over there where I've got the really cute salt and pepper, just a cute side lamp, and then of course another antique, which will be this little stand that I have over here. And that is just something that stays like that, and it just looks really fun. I have some cooking books over here, and I love just scrolling through them and getting inspiration for our nightly dinners. If you follow me over here, we're gonna have what we call our side island. This is really just sometimes where we throw our keys or just whatever we have when we walk in the door. But I love to have our dog treats over here. His name's Bo, so we always refill them with little bee treats. And then our fresh fruit, we love fruit, so we actually have a little garden in the backyard where we've grown tomatoes and peppers. So every time I collect anything that we've homegrown, we just put it in this basket. And then we move over to the dining area. So for our home, since the square footage is not that big, I really wanted to find a dining table that wasn't gonna be super big, but also fit enough people where we could host our family or just host friends. So I actually found this on Facebook Marketplace, and it's currently covered, but it's actually made from French picket fences, which is really fun. Every fence will be different, which is so unique. And again, it pairs with all the antiques that I have in our home. I currently just have a block print on top of it and just set it up with these beautiful plates that I got from an online website. These are all going to be hand painted plates, and I just love the pink in them and the pop of pink and the white. It just kind of pairs perfectly with everything else that we've got going on in the house. So anytime I host, I love to turn my little candles on, have a pretty arrangement that I make probably the night before too, and incorporate all these colors that tie perfectly in the room, which are gonna be pinks, greens, like I mentioned before. Those are kind of the main colors in our home. Then instead of having 6 dining chairs, I decided to add a bench, which is just a fun and different kind of piece. This can be moved for more seating if we wanted to put it in the living room or just move it places. It's just a great, comfortable piece instead of having just the generic kind of all dining chairs. So this is a really fun and cool table that I love to entertain on. Moving on to the living room slash family room. So this is gonna be more of an informal space for us. This is where we watch TV, where we watch football, where we watch all sorts of sports. This room was totally different when we moved in as far as layout. So originally when we moved in and toured this house, they had the sofa this way, the TV over there, but I knew that I wanted to kind of continue the openness of the space. So I decided to put this sofa over here. This is gonna be just a slip cover linen sofa, which I love. And I paired it with some really fun throw pillows, again, incorporated in pinks, greens, prints, which is very important for me. I love mixing prints. I just think it adds that extra kind of fun piece to your space. Same with these swivels. So over here, we're gonna have some really fun swivel chairs that I got from our showroom in Dallas, Living Modern. So we love incorporating prints. These are gonna be linen, but it's just fun to be able to customize and add throw pillows that you can switch out to create a different look. So like I've mentioned before, I love mixing styles. We've got kind of like Palm Beach, Grand Millennial. These are gonna be more mid-century modern. These are actually called the Roxys. They rock and swivel. These were designed by Milo Boffman in 1965, which is so fun. They're by a brand called Thayer Coggin. They've been around for 70 plus years. I knew when I saw these chairs at our showroom that I had to have them, but I wanted something fun. So I picked this really fun Celadon velvet, upholstered the base as well, and then I just added, like I said, I love mixing pricey with more affordable, these really cute Amazon print pillows. I just think they add the perfect pizzazz and they just make them so fun and happy. So these are such a great piece. Also, this little side table is another antique of mine. I love antiquing, it's one of my passions. This is a burnt bamboo side table, and I saw this at a local antique store and I just fell in love with it. I'd been looking for one for a long time, hadn't found one that was the right price or the right size. So as soon as I saw this one, I just immediately bought it and loaded it up in my car. And over here, right behind this little side table and our lovely swivels, we've got kind of a really fun vignette with this fun rattan sideboard, bright and fun and airy. And then I've got another antique piece on top of another antique piece. So this is a little bamboo stand, and I incorporated one of my antique oyster plate finds. And then we've got a really fun kind of Asian-inspired ceramic jar with blues and pinks. And then this really fun print that's just kind of like landscape. Again, it's super airy, it's fresh, and then love the accents of the gold frame with a little bit of brushed. Moving over to our coffee table, which is an ever-changing coffee table. I love switching it up. This looked totally different 2 weeks ago. I always, though, will have some fresh flowers, either bought from our local Trader Joe's or from Central Market. Those are some great spots. Another antique find is going to be this Famille Rose little vase. So I really go antiquing, or try to go antiquing, once every other week. I just love finding cool stuff and unique pieces. This is also an antique. And then of course, I like to mix it with newer pieces. This coffee table's new. All of these other accents are gonna be new. But we always, like I said, I just love pairing it with all these little trinkets. I just think it adds so much character and so much warmth to the house. This was a gift from a friend, and I love, it looks antique, but it's not. So I think mixing and blending new and old just creates the perfect environment for a home and creates the perfect kind of cozy, inviting space for everyone that wants to enjoy it. Over here, we quickly and lastly move for the living room space. We've got more antiques. As you can tell, I love this kind of print, the Famille Rose. The coloring is just great. It's bright, it's fun. And then I've paired my fireplace with two sets of these pagodas. They're ceramic. They're also going to be a celadon, so they pair great with the swivels that I've got over there. So this is another antique piece of mine. It's a burnt bamboo cabinet. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. I realized it was in a local antique store, so I drove with my fiance and immediately fell in love when I walked in there. It wasn't styled or anything. I started kind of messing around and styling with other antique pieces and realized I had to have it. So I bought this piece, I styled it just like my coffee table. It's ever changing. Anytime I buy new pieces, new plates, new cups, they'll go in here and then I'll swap them out and flip them and put them somewhere else. So we're gonna go now to our bar. This wet bar was totally different. It was all white. There was no wallpaper, no backsplash. And that was my first project. As soon as we moved in, I knew this had to change. I wanted to have a fun bar. I wanted it to feel like we were in a hotel or in a resort or somewhere fun. And when we have friends over and make cocktails, it just feels like we're at a party. So what I did here, first we wallpapered this wall. This is a Philip Jeffries cotton on canvas wallpaper, and the blues and the whites and kind of the coastal feel, I saw it, I immediately knew I need to have it. So I bought this and then we wallpapered it. Here I have some of my most precious oyster plate collection. Like I said, I go antiquing. If I see something, I'll buy it, but I have to love it. This is actually a new edition. I got it last week. So all of these are just such unique pieces. I source them from eBay, antique stores, just anywhere I can get my hands on a fun antique plate, I love doing. So for this bar, I also knew I wanted a pop of color. So we went with this Faro and Ball color. It's called Parma Gray. We did the high gloss in order to give it kind of like the shiny look. I found these on Etsy. These are ceramic hand-painted knobs. There are little shells on there, and they've got the greens and the blues, and they just add more of that coastal feel to this bar. This backsplash is something that me and my fiance actually did ourselves. We wanted to do a DIY, which is great until you start doing it, and then it's maybe not the best idea. But we bought this hand-cut Cottage tile. We cut it ourselves, we put it ourselves, and every time we're making a cocktail, we remind ourselves of maybe sometimes you should pay the professionals, but it was such a fun activity for us to do, and we just enjoy looking at it, and it just makes us happy that we were able to do it ourselves. Then I just have it styled over here with some of our favorite beverages. We've got some lemons over here, our favorite Topo Chico, and then like I said, for my coffee table, I just love having some fresh florals over here as well. With our favorite candy, I love these Raffaellos. They're just coconut white chocolate candies, and I swap these out with M&Ms or whatever candies we want to have. So to finish off, I just have these really cute linen napkins, and again we have some with our initials, and then we've got some really cute prints over here, and this kind of just adds to the elements of print and color to create a fun and inviting space. So now we're going to move to our guest bedroom. Follow me. My go-to design tip is buy anything that makes your heart happy. Anything that makes you smile, anything you can't live without. That's really my personal tip. That's kind of how I go about with my home. Of course, I like print and I love to mix prints, colors, but really anything that makes you smile when you walk in your home, that's my biggest design tip. So this is our guest bedroom, which was just recently finished. And I'll start with the wallpaper. This is a actual Target find. It's a peel and stick wallpaper that I installed myself. It was a labor of love, but now that it's installed, I could not be more obsessed. I just love the greens. I do love that the background is white, so it still looks fresh. It doesn't look overwhelming because it is a lot of print. But I paired it with this really fun scalloped pink and white kind of tweed material bed. And then for the bedding, we went with more of a traditional, just white, but then of course incorporated really fun throw pillows on this lumber pillow, and then we've got a little lilac going on over here, and then our sheets are going to be light blue. And for fun, of course, I had to add more color, and we have this Indian block print that I found on Etsy, and this is just a quilt, and the coloring with the yellows and the greens and kind of like the darker purples went perfectly with the room. It just gives a really happy vibe. For my lamps, these are going to be another Facebook Marketplace find. I love Facebook Marketplace for kind of more affordable pieces. I found these, I loved them, I bought the set, and again, went with some white to keep the freshness of the room. These nightstands are going to be rattan. There's a lot of rattan in our home. It just incorporates the coastal vibe. And then of course we've got the acrylic handles, which is such a clean look, and it just gives this more of a fresh vibe. Over here, we're gonna have this really fun piece. It's a stairwell in Greece, and it looks like a painting, but it's actually a photograph. So the coloring is super inviting, super fresh, cozy for my guests, which is what I really wanted to do with this room, was just create a cozy and fun environment for my guests. If we look down, we've got this super fun rug. This is going to be another wool rug, kind of like the Oshak, except it's got a more of a Greek-inspired design. So it's going to have this really fun inspired design, and then we have, if you walk over here, we've got, it's kind of like a cheetah print with baby blues and light greens and whites, just continuing the color palette around the house. It's super cozy. I just love that my guests are able to get off bed and then step directly on some carpet. Lastly, in this room over there, we're gonna have my collection of hats. So those are gonna be my straw hat collection. I do love hats. The one over there is actually going to be one that my fiance just gifted me for our wedding weekend that's coming up in the beach. But I just love the shell aspect of it. And then we've got just kind of on the bottom, the other hat with more string, and it's green and white and cream and just pairs perfectly with this room. Back here, we do have this fun piece. So it's actually a photograph. The account is called Barbie and Ken, and he stages all of these photos with real Barbies and real props. So it's not a drawing, it's a real photograph. He's got all these sets that he creates with his Barbies and then photographs them looking absolutely glamorous. So I thought that was just a really fun piece to incorporate in here and have our guests enjoy and have something fun to look at. So now we're gonna go to my backyard. Follow me. Welcome to our backyard in Dallas, in our really quiet neighborhood. This is where we love to host, where we love to have our dog run around, throw a fetch for him. So I always love hosting out here. We can grill over there, and then we just have this really fun table set up. I found this umbrella actually in a company in Laguna Beach, and I love their pieces. So this was a really fun piece for me to add. It's got a fun print. Again, the greens follow me everywhere. And then I just picked a really fun lilac tablecloth to kind of give it a little pop, but still keep the pastels We've got these really cute hand-painted plates from HomeGoods, another HomeGoods find, and then just really cute napkins with a little detail on the side with a little fringe. And then we've got my favorite drink, Snapple. So anytime we host people, I love having kind of like this fun pitcher where we can put any sort of beverage that we're enjoying that day. And then again, with the fresh flowers, ranunculus are gonna be my favorite flower. So anytime they're in season, we go to our local Trader Joe's and find them. And then lastly, I just have these little cute these little cute cups that I got made for when we got engaged, and now we enjoy all the time. But again, pairing natural materials with hand-painted blues, pastels is just kind of what we always do here. Pair with some of our scallop pillows over there. And then this is just really where we enjoy our weekends. We love sitting out here in this really fun vintage antique bench that I found again on Facebook Marketplace. And that's how we enjoy our home in Dallas. Home to me is a happy heart, which is kind of cliche, but I just want to be able to walk into my home or guests walk into my home and just feel happy. This is why we picked kind of like colorful colors and prints. I just want to be able to feel cozy, and this is the most comfortable space for me. So home to me is just, I guess, comfort.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.